Guys, I'd just like to ask you, what was the experience like working on the set?
Unbelievable, really. I don't know if Doug or I have ever had such an intense experience. It was physically draining, emotionally draining, and also just kind of awe-inspiring.
Yeah, it was the mixture of being on a set where they'd built pretty much all the sets to scale that was so impressive, and also working with a director as intense and as talented as Darren Aronofsky. The two of them combined were just
pretty amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
You know, this movie talks a lot about fatherhood. If you would, just talk a little bit about Noah's relationship with his kids, and then also his relationship with God.
You know, it's about fatherhood and also a lot about motherhood, but, you know, he's Noah's your classic patriarch in many ways, but he also really looks to his wife for guidance and strength and counsel, and also to his daughter, or his adopted daughter, Ela. But, you know, family is a really important theme of the story, and the impact that a family can have when they stick together, and how important that structure is. So I think it's one of the most beautiful kind of aspects of the story, really.
Right. Yeah. And how important is it to you that Hollywood continues to put out movies like this based on Bible scriptures? And
I mean, yes, I think it's incredible. It's very rare for a studio to put up so much money for a story like this, and also to trust a director. Darren normally directs movies with smaller budgets, and studios don't normally give these sort of auteurs
that kind of scope.
That kind of scope.
Yeah.
So it's rare to kind of get that kind of movie filmmaker and that kind of budget. So that is rare, I think, and that's why you have such a special film, an epic film, but a film that actually has an important message and kind of makes you
really
come out
about
asking
something.
questions. It's about something.
Right.
It's not a popcorn flick, although it's extremely entertaining. But you come out of the theater like asking questions.
And in doing this movie, did you discover anything new in your own religious views?
I don't think I discovered anything new. I already believe that there's a higher power. I don't belong to a specific religious doctrine, but I'm definitely very interested in it and consider myself to be spiritual. But I think it's just nice to see a conversation and a celebration of faith.
And it made me come away thinking about the core themes of this film.
Sure.
You know, hope, forgiveness, mercy,
Justice.
faith, justice, all these things. It really kind of made me kind of think about that a lot.
Ray, if you would,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the process that you did in preparing for this role.
Right. Oh dear. You know, you get the script and you look at the script, and it's on the page. It can be, it's the bad guy, and you kind of think, well, you know, I think Darren's films are more intelligent than that. You know, whatever he makes, he's got some way of allowing you to perform, if you like, bring the character out off the page. So I kind of thought about, you know, Tubal Cain. He was the last king, you know. He was a weapons dealer. Everything you'd hate about him, he kind of was. But, you know, kings back then kind of thought they were gods. They were from the gods, from the creators, you know.
Yeah.
And they were special people. And so the creator's kind of like his father. And he stopped speaking to him. He's like a son that's been shunned. And there's nothing worse for a son, you know, than dad not talking to you, you know. And,
Right.
That's enough to make a kid go to the dark side, I think, a little bit. But also the Cain and Abel thing, you know, Cain and Noah's from Abel, and that kind of bloodline of, could have been Noah. You know, for want of a word, there for the grace of God goes Tubal Cain, you know.
For the grace of God.
Yeah, and it's that kind
Premise of the movie.
thing of, you know, when people get power and they abuse the power, and we see that all the time, you know, with politicians,
Absolutely.
with kings, and they abuse that power. And so that was all kind of wrapping that all up. And the fact of the matter is, and I watched Russell quite a bit, and I thought, you know, we can have a similar. We've got the same kind of stance in a way, you know, and I thought, you know, we can mirror one another a little bit here, you know. Except that he wants to save the beasts, and I want to save me and mankind.
Right.
You know. Who would you go with? You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. How important is it to you that Hollywood continues to put out movies like this with such a great message?
I thought for a while, you know, they make blockbusters, big films, but not always the script has been there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the most important thing, you know, when you're making a film. And I think what Darren's got here is the balance. You know, you made an epic movie, but with a very strong script.
And you know,
really,
your character in the movie talks a lot about miracles.
Yeah.
Do you believe in miracles?
Well, they all
yourself?
believe. I mean, the thing about the movie is that everyone believes. Everyone's a believer. Tubal Cain believes. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the fear.
How about you personally?
I have my own spiritual way. You know, what is the point of getting up in the morning if you ain't going to believe in something? You know, I just go about mine in a different way. I see my kids being born, and that's a miracle to me.
Absolutely.
You can see the sun come up in the morning. That's a miracle.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a belief that warms your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you turn on the telly, you see wars. That's hell. You see natural disasters. That's hell. That's part of life. But
modern day.
You know, are we helping that in any way?
Right.
You know, and I think that's the kind of message you get from the film. I love films where you walk in and you watch a film, you come out. It's not giving you any answers. It opens debate.
Right.
You know.